Are you looking for a way to help your brick-and-mortar business drive more traffic and increase your sales? Look no further than the Receipt Paper Podcast. In this podcast, Joanne and Kyle provide their sage advice on how to make your brick-and-mortar store the hottest spot in town. Whether you're just launching a new business or trying to grow an existing one, these informative episodes will leave you inspired. In each episode, Joanne and Kyle take on a different topic related to running a successful business. They offer practical tips based on their own experience as owners of multiple brick-and-mortar locations. So whatever challenges you're facing, they have actionable advice for you. From finding a location and executing your build-out, to merchandising and customer experience, to sales and marketing, Joanne and Kyle have you covered. With helpful advice from these experienced entrepreneurs, you are sure to learn how to increase your sales and have your business running out of receipt paper in no time. Let's dive right in.
Welcome back to episode number 46 of the Receipt Paper Podcast. My name is Kyle Strubing. I am one half of the dynamic duo here that hosts this lovely podcast. I am here with my lovely life partner and wife partner, Joanne Strubing. Still weird for me to say sometimes. Jojo, baby, how we doing today?
We are good. I know. I'm still getting used to the signing the name thing, but getting easier.
6 months in, right? Going strong.
Yeah.
Going strong still. So yeah, no, it's exciting. I see the name and I'm like, oh, that's cool. Still do that on the Bills. I don't like the Bills, but you know, that at least is a happy part. But what's going on, Jojo? Anything going on? What's day to day?
Our last episode, we shared with you guys what we're currently spending money on. So you heard that we have a ton of projects that we've been working on lately, working towards franchising our business. And we are working with a brand agency. So we're working with franchise consultants and a PR firm. And so all those things have been keeping us very busy. We are definitely eager to see the results of each of those things, but trying to be patient as each of them come to fruition. So
some of us more patient than others, certainly. Yes. But got a good topic for you guys today. Today is going to be on how to host a successful in-store event. In-store events for us have done very well. We're able to get creative, and we're going to show you, kind of dig into some of the details on that.
yes, haven't hosted any in-store events at your business yet, highly recommend that you do. And if you already have hosted in-store events, hopefully you can learn some new ways to advertise or new tips and tricks or ideas on what types of events to host at your store. Events are just a great way to drive traffic. They will, you'll have your regulars that always come out and really enjoy that community and the networking aspect, but they'll also bring friends, and it's a new way to reach a new audience of people that want to come to your event. And of course, you will, buy your products or services. So we've always done events at our business from day one, and we'll share some of that throughout this episode today. But events are an amazing thing. It's one of the great benefits about having a brick and mortar business is that you can host these intimate in-person events, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, it lends to that. We build fans, not customers experience big time. A lot of the regulars come through to the events. They always bring people. But it really just kind of builds your brand to be kind of somewhere that's fun and somewhere that they want to go into, as opposed to being it's a lot less transactional,
Yeah.
I'll say. But it lends to a great buying or a buying environment, if you will. It's loose, it's lax, it's kind of more of a party atmosphere, and it gets you out of your element a little bit. It's good.
Yeah. Real quick, before we dive into this episode, we have a guide for you to download, and you can follow along with us in this episode. You can save it for later when you want to host your next event. It's an excellent guide that will walk you through everything and more than what we were talking about in this episode. You can find it at masterbrickandmortar.com/46, and you can go download that free guide there for you. I think you'll really like it.
Yeah, so don't strain your hands to take notes on this. Just kind of listen and enjoy and let it soak in. Once again, for the people who have done this before, or, hopefully this can be a reminder, if you've been in business for 5 years, this might be a reminder of, hey, I should try that event again or something like that. We hope that we can reach both people new and kind of older to the game, so that you can do a little self-scouting. We're always about the self-scouting, but we have broken this down into two parts. We have an in-store event ideas and then how to advertise your event. Um, we'll go ahead and get started. Do you want to get started, Jojo, on the in-store event ideas?
Yeah, so we wanted to get you to have tons of ideas of where to get started. I think sometimes that's the hardest part with events is like, what kind of event should I do? So we're going to walk through some ideas. Not all of these may be relevant to you, but hopefully they get the wheels turning. So the first one's a fashion show. I love this for those retail apparel stores, or even like stores that maybe have more of a female target demographic to have partner with an apparel store to come on site and do some sort of fashion show. You can get your customers involved in this. I've seen some really cool things here. I've seen people make this into like a charity event, but this is a really great way to get some buzz. You can utilize local influencers. You can, generate that buzz on social media if you have some new apparel lines coming out, but this is a really fun and exciting thing to do for that.
Yes.
Number two is
going to be a wine tasting. Partner with your local winery or liquor store and host a wine tasting event in your store. This is going to be a good way to kind of attract new customers and provide a fun and educational experience for the existing ones, right? Once again, you get the libations going, get those purse strings loosened up a little bit, and go to town. Obviously, be careful, like any other wine tasting. Make sure you're on your P's and Q's during that. Don't taste too much your darn self there. But you want to. It kind of gets the juices flowing, and people definitely dig the wine tasting. It's neat. It's weird. It's different. And we did it. We did this. It was more of a not a wine tasting, but we used our specific products. We did, because we had the hemp-based products with CBD, and we just kind of made mocktails and stuff. It was a nice little way. We called it like it wouldn't be like a flower tasting or something. And it was cool. It was weird. It was different. Trying to take some of these things and pivot it towards your offering. You could do a wine tasting, but in a different, kind of in a different way.
I think we want to do like a happy hour with mocktails.
Right.
Like, so if you have any like, something that you can add into water or drinks, you can have some fun with it, get creative there. But people love something when you can use those senses of what people are tasting and smelling, and they get to really come experience something like that. They love to come in and really try it. Like, I mean, I'm a sucker for walking around Costco and getting the samples and tasting things and trying things. And so, when people hear they can come do that, it definitely will attract people. And I want to point out that if you are the benefit of partnering with another business here is that you can leverage their audience. So if you partner with, a local winery or liquor store, the idea would be, hey, come on site, but also let your audience know that you're going to be here.
Right.
Because then that audience is going to come support them, but also check out your products. So you're leveraging other people's audience, and that is so huge. It's the ability to get in front of these other people's audiences, and if they have an email list of 5,000 and they send out an email to 5,000 people in your local community, that's huge. That's a huge value.
Yeah, that's the key. That's how you build your small business. It's through other businesses, leveraging that. I scratch your back, you scratch my back. It's how you got to do it. And it's the cheapest one. So
I advertise on social, you advertise it. It's a
right.
win-win.
So the third one we have is going to be a DIY workshop. With this one, you just want to offer a hands-on workshop where customers can create their own DIY products using your products. Duh, right? It makes sense. It's a great way to showcase your products and offer a unique and interactive experience for your customers. It also brands you and shows your expertise in the field.
Yeah.
I know with this one, since we were in CBD, one time we did a pre-roll kind of DIY class workshop.
Yeah.
You take from that what you will. It was excellent. We had a bunch of guys with rolling papers and all types of stuff, and they sat there, and we had one of the employees who was well versed in this just teach that. It was neat, it was fun, and then it brought the people back again because they wanted to continue doing that learned skill. To then brought the people back into the store. It was a fan. That definitely is fun. It's out of the box, and you provide a little value too that way.
Yeah, one of our students in Brick and Mortar Academy, shout out to Michelle, sells candles. And she
Yes.
just opened her business, and we were all brainstorming ways for her to drum up some traffic. And I know one of her ideas was to host classes and, have people come and make their own candles and things like that. And so interactive and things like that tend to really, really do well. You can do it like, hey, and you can charge for these events, like for $20 come and you'll get to leave with your own made candle or whatever it is that you're making. So people love doing things like this. They love leaving with something. They love making things. So yes, DIY workshops, get creative. There's lots of things you can do.
Yeah, that's another thing too, right? We used we probably talk about this later, but we sold the event as tickets on different social media spaces too, which worked well. Those things like that. If you have to hire somebody, pass the cost off onto the customers. You don't want to be giving that away for free per se.
Another thing here, like Kyle and I aren't the DIY crafty people per se, but like one time we had um what is that? The art thing, the sip and
Sip and sew. No, not sip and sew. No, I said that so confidently. It's so wrong. Sip and sew. No, it was like a painting thing,
twist.
painting with a
Yes.
twist. Yes,
Had them come to the shop once, and it was huge.
it was huge.
We probably had like 30 people come and paint stuff and
We did it after hours. We moved a lot of furniture around. That's the other thing with these things. You want to kind of make sure your space can handle it, right? I've had there, which is for a good thing, but we were standing on counters and talking to people when we did some of these classes and stuff. But it's take some of that into account. But yeah, I mean, wasn't that on a Valentine's Day? We were packed.
yeah, it
The
was
place
really
was
cool.
packed, and we handed out samples and stuff. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
So you can also look at other people to host those things. It doesn't always have to be you
Sure.
teaching per se.
Sure, sure. So Jojo, I'm going to let you go on this next one. I'm not overly familiar with it.
So, that's kind of like an older terminology, but you basically host local or emerging designers. So just use your venue as a place to host a fashion show or something like that. Next one is a book signing. We've done this before. Somebody had a book that was in the CBD realm that lived locally to us, Carol Merlot.
Shout out to Carol, yeah.
So we hosted her. People came and got to hear her speak about her new book, and then she signed her books, and everybody bought one. And then it really allowed us to look like, hey, we are leaders in this space. We are advocating education in this space, and yeah.
I will say, make sure they're familiar with your products too when they're doing it, because they undoubtedly get questions afterwards, and it's just super easy for them to point over to kind of what products that they had. That worked really well for us with Carol because she had already taken a lot of our products, and she's just she was a cool chick, anyways. So it worked out well.
Yeah, yeah.
It worked out well.
Yeah.
So next one is going to be a pop-up shop. Um, we like to call these sipping shops where we offer the mocktails and all that stuff. Basically a pop-up shop in your store. You can ask other vendors to also advertise the event to reach a wider audience.
So you can sip and sew.
Sipping, I was doing so much sipping. All this talk of sipping and all that is, yeah.
It's a shop. I saw somebody said brews and buddies the other day for an event.
The enunciation is on point, yeah.
But people like this. I mean, they'll come, you'll just have some light, maybe some cookies and some snacks and, some beverages. It doesn't have to be alcoholic and, have a bunch of vendors, invite a bunch of local vendors, and have them in your space. People love the ability to shop with a bunch of different people all in one space, right? So, and then, like we said earlier, you utilize those people's audience. You ask all of them to advertise the event on social media and email and text their friends, family, customers, and leverage all of that to get people into your space. These work really well. Sometimes it does take some advertising. So if you have to really encourage these vendors to advertise, you need to advertise for a couple weeks in advance, and we'll get into some of that later. But just make sure that you're getting the word out.
You got to get at those sip and shops. I'm Sergeant's sip and shop for sure. Sip and sew and shop and stuff.
Oh.
All right, the next one is going to be a food tasting. That's pretty self-explanatory, right? But this one you're looking at partnering with the local restaurants or some other type of food vendor. Maybe it's a food truck or something like that. Something to host food because people like food, people like to eat, everybody's got to eat, and then once again, you can pivot some of your products and offerings then to complement with the food that's being done.
I love the food trucks because if there's a food truck sitting out in front of your business, it usually does a pretty good
Right.
job attracting the audience. It's also a great idea to have a food truck at your grand opening event. Just throwing that out there if you haven't done your grand opening yet. But yeah, I think when you can attract people like that, they will come, stop by for the food, and then walk into your business.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Next one is going to be a self-care / spa day. This obviously works best with a service-based business. With that, you just advertise a day where you provide like a mini service, like a facial or like maybe a foot detox or something, and just give people a taste of what you offer.
Yeah.
Then when they're there, the best part about services is they're there and they're a captive audience that's forced to sit there for however long, right? And then they have an opportunity to take a look around, all that good stuff, and you're able to fill them full of value and show them kind of where your products are.
Yeah, we used to do this. We would have we would do free massage day on Sundays.
Right.
And it would bring in a lot of people. We would pay a lady to do chair massages. So she would just do like 15-minute chair massages for each person. It cost us a couple $100, but it drove a ton of traffic.
Right.
So we would, always tend to make the money back.
Make people get on a list. We were always too busy. They always had to wait. Therefore, they're once again stuck in the store to look around and browse at products. It was always a win-win. And if they get mad that they can't get in, it's free, guys. Like buy some product.
We partnered with people like IV Nutrition and places like that to come in and do shots. And so we just advertised that we have this additional offering there on a Saturday, and stuff like that can drive people in. Like, oh, hey, I want to come get my shots up there, and things like that. So look for things that are going to complement your products or
Right.
services. If your customers are, look at your target demographic, who's your customer avatar.
Go back to your avatar,
Yes.
always back to your
Yes.
avatar.
And what other things do they like? What other services or products are they also seeking? And see if you can get those vendors to come into your store.
Yeah, think of a day in the life. Where else are they? What else do they do? Where are they shopping? Where are they going? What
Yeah.
does your customer avatar do? And drill in on that and see where else you can kind of head them off at the pass, really is what you're doing.
Yeah.
And we're creatures of habit. And if you're able to kind of tap into that, you can then bring them into your circle, which is super important. I'll let you take the next one, babe.
Yeah, next one is one-on-one classes, like beginners level classes. We did these and they were huge.
Yeah, these were huge.
CBD 101 classes. I mean, we would get like 50 people. We didn't even have enough chairs because our showroom was like only 500 square feet. We had people standing out the door, and it was awesome. So if you have a topic that people want education on, like, nutrition or even crafting, like there's things that people want to learn and people
Right.
want to come get educated on, and you can charge for these classes or you can do them for free. I typically almost like to do more of them these more for free. And that way they're more likely to spend money on product. But yeah, these were huge, huge, huge for us. It really set us as a leader in our
Right.
community.
Yeah, we hired somebody to do it in the beginning, and then after a while, we just ended up doing them on our own. We
Mhm.
became the speaker. And that's another thing I will say, like to have a presentation on almost a whatever the hell it is you do, fill in the blank here, 101. It's just nice to have. It's nice to kind of, it's not, it's long, just a little longer than an elevator pitch, maybe, 20 minutes, half hour of just basic bullet points. And, you kind of build off of that. And that helps in with the sales pitch and all that stuff. I know I'm kind of deviating here from way, but definitely you want to have that in your arsenal.
Yeah. All right, next up is the expo. So if you have a larger space, this works great, but like I saw and actually you don't even have to have a larger space, but like I saw the Stretch Lab recently did a runners expo. So they, obviously we're targeting a very specific group of, runners if you're an athlete, and they hosted a bunch of people that were fitting for that, other vendors that runners could compliment from, shoe vendors, cryo vendors, whatever. It was all of these people, and so consider an expo with bringing a bunch of uh, people together for a very specific target demographic.
And the whole goal is to leverage the collective reach of everybody, make them post and share and tell their customers that they're going to be there, and you do the same. It's all this, right hand washing the left hand stuff too. The next one is going to be a sampling event. People love samples, right? We always say you sell what you sample. I said that right. You sell what you sample. So, and it does not, I mean, that is the undoubted truth. You sell what you sample. So the idea would be then to just host a whole event where customers can sample all your products and services. And what it's going to do is just allow them to be open to more things.
Yeah.
If they're taking your first, most popular product that they know works, they see something that came from you, they're going to buy it. You already have that. You're leveraging that kind of customer loyalty and once again, your expertise to say, hey, this can also help, and just adds towards a higher average ticket, and it increases your customer value, the average dollar per customer.
Yeah, we had some friends that were in the same franchise as us, and they did sample Sundays, and I loved it. They would advertise it every week, and it would drive great traffic for people that would want to come in and try new products and stock up on samples. And I think it's great for regulars and life that you can send this out to um, your customer list, and it will drive people into your
Right.
store. Okay, I want to come try these samples. So.
Yeah, and we didn't do it. I mean, we weren't giving out like full retail things. We would even go on Amazon and make like little creams and stuff like that, and kind of put a stamp on it so that they knew obviously what they were buying, and make sure that they know what the hell it is that they're sampling, right? So then when they come back and be like, I sampled that thing, and you're like, I talked to 100 people that day. I have no idea. So make sure that you can kind of track it back to that, but don't feel like you have to give away the whole everything. Just a little piece, or like, just some of those plastic tops with cans and stuff like that. Nothing too crazy. You don't have to buy anything special or anything like that. You know.
All right, next is an anniversary party. I think every year you should do an anniversary party. 1 year in business, 2 years in business, 3 years in business, 5 years, 10 years.
Right.
It's a great time to celebrate. Just a reason, an excuse to drive traffic. You can do a little bit of a sale, or launch a new product or service, or an open house, or go all out. Bring a DJ, get the balloons outside. These are always fun, and we're always so amazed. Like, we get so much support from our regulars that come by our anniversary parties that just want to come and see how we're doing and say hi, and
Bring their friends in.
it's really
Yeah,
nice. It's honestly a good way to celebrate yourself for being in business, but it does draw the community in as well.
for sure. For sure. Next one is going to be a product or service launch party. If you're going to add, it's just say once again, another reason to just throw a party, right?
Yeah.
Just to shout your name at the top so that people can come in. And it might sound, you got to kind of do the dance, right? You got to kind of, hey, I mean, it might just be another product, but you got to kind of sell it. You got to sell the sizzle a little bit. Hey, we're real excited about this. I think it's gonna help with. I know you guys have been coming in with ABC 1, 2, 3. Well, this is gonna help with all of that, and kind of launch it and talk about it a little bit, and then obviously direct them over to go purchase the product.
Yeah, we are adding in a new service, a red light. Just another service for people to use. And so we'll probably do something like this. We'll do a launch party on like Saturday, come see our new red light, let everybody sit underneath it for, a couple minutes, check it out, buy, stock up on packages. We'll do a promo on a package. Hey, you get 10 red light sessions for, X amount, get this deal today. And we'll have kombucha and snacks and all the things,
Right.
right?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to it. So, the next, which is the last one, thanks for bearing with us here, is going to be music. So, if it's going to fit the setting and the venue, you want to host a musician. It's just a good way, once again, to leverage their following, gives them an opportunity. Musicians are always down to play. If you run a boutique, selling Victorian dresses or whatever. Certainly don't want to have a screamo band there per se, but it's just nice to kind of have set the mood, leverage their following, and just have fun.
Yeah. All right, so let's pivot. Hopefully, you've had a ton of ideas now on types of events. You got the wheels turning. Look at planning an event maybe once a quarter and then maybe move it up to once a month. But these are great things to do to drive traffic. But you have to advertise them, like we were saying earlier. So you want to make sure you're touching multiple different points to remind people about these events. Telling people one time is not enough. You got to remind them, remind them, remind them. So don't ever feel like you're telling people too many times that this event is coming up. People actually like the reminders. They hate it when they forget something they wanted to go to. So let's dive into a couple ways. We are going to move a little quickly through these for the sake of time. But like I said, we do have this free resource for you to go download. So you can go back to it, highlight it, check mark it, whatever you want to do there. Again, the free resource is at masterbrickandmortar.com/46. But let's dive into some of these.
Yes. So the first one's going to be in-store signage, self-explanatory, right? Visible sign showing what's going on, talking about the event, and then an actual form on there for them to RSVP for reminder text, things like that. Data capture, data capture, data capture.
Yeah.
Right? That's key. That's key. So with the in-store sign, have them sign up. That way you can remind them, and that way you have them locked in.
Yeah, you can do that digitally. You can have a QR code there where they can
Yes.
sign up, or you can just have them write on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Write down your email or phone number, and we'll send you a reminder about the event. Most people want to be reminded, like I said.
Absolutely. Next one's going to be outdoor signage. If your city allows it, signage outside your store is a great way to advertise to passing traffic. Advertise the event on an A-frame sign, a banner, or even yard signs. We could talk about if your city allows it or not offline, but certainly get creative. Timing is everything. Weekends are, they don't work on the weekends, just to say that. But yes, A-frames, that way you're, once again pivoting off of the people that are, the other stores within your area, or a big anchor store. All of that feeds into it, and it's a soft sell, right? With the, hey, come on in to this event. It's a much more soft sell. It's a lot more welcoming, as opposed, and it catches people's eye because it's not just, hey, whatever, hey, come and buy my stuff.
Okay, next up is the Facebook event. So create an event on your business Facebook page. If you have other vendors or partners coming, add them as co-hosts so that that event automatically gets added to their page. You can share this event multiple times leading up to the actual event. And also ask your audience, ask your customers, say, hey, please share this event with your friends and family, tag your friends and family, whoever you want to bring to this event, encourage that sharing on Facebook.
Cool. Yeah. So the next one is going to be email and text blasts. Pretty standard, right? Send emails, send texts leading up to the event, informing the customers, encourage them to bring a friend with them, encourage them to RSVP, all that good stuff. This goes back to capturing data. This is why you capture data. I'm harping on this because it's very important. This is why you capture data.
Yes. Yep. Send emails. Send one when you create the event. Send one a week before the event. Send one 24 hours before the event. You got to send those reminders leading up to the event. So that's very important that you send one. That 24-hour one, I think, is the most important to remind people. Hey, don't forget to come to this tomorrow. Whatever you had planned, you know, make sure you.
Multiple touch points,
Yep.
right? Multiple touch points.
Next one is Eventbrite. Eventbrite is a great website where you can add your event and they will promote it to people in your local community. So most of the time it's free to use this. Even if your event is free, you can still put it on Eventbrite. So it's a great one that will be working for you to advertise your event in your local community.
Yeah, we did a like a sound bath cacao meditation one. That brought in people from everywhere.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
was a really cool event. And then I mean, I still see people from that. Like we still
yeah.
see a lot of those people. So it definitely works out. The next one is going to be Meetup. Meetup's just another website that you can add your event to. There's some weirdos out there. I'm kidding. No, we like the weirdos anyways. But no, it's just another way to kind of get your stuff out. It's a little bit different demographic, but other than that, I mean, it's typically free. It's,
Yeah.
all, easy peasy. Might as well do it. Yeah.
Flyers, if this is a really big event for you, I recommend you create flyers, take it around to local businesses, pass them out in store to customers so they can take them home and put it on the fridge and they won't forget about it. Flyers are just a great one if you're trying to get in front of other people's audiences, especially if you have other vendors. You can say, hey, put these in your business before the event. If you have the time, it's worth it to put some flyers together.
Yeah, we used to put them on the cars in the Walmart parking lot. I don't know if you should do that, but hey, we were at
We got in trouble
I
for
think
it.
we did get in trouble for it. But what are you gonna do? We were hungry. We were hungry, so we would get out there and do it. Myself included. I mean, 100 degrees in Texas. It was had to make it happen, whatever it takes, right?
Yeah.
So, the next one is going to be vendors advertise. Excuse me, through the vendors. If you have them joining your event, make sure that they're telling them to advertise to their customers. That's part of the game, guys. That's just how it is, what it is. Make it easy on them, though. Provide them with maybe some social media graphics or flyers, just to give them tools to be able to easily share that event.
Mhm. Yep. Next is going to be the newspaper. If there is a local newspaper that you think does well, that people do look for local events in those newspapers. So sometimes you can just reach out to the newspaper and let them know about the event, and they'll advertise it for you without you having to pay for it. That's always preferred.
Right.
So see if the price is right there for them.
And then I'm going to let you take this last one. The
Yes.
last one is kind of a big one, and it is JoJo's speciality. So I'm going to let you take that one away, JoJo.
Great word there. So many ways that you can utilize social media to talk about your event. So I think it's very important to go live before the event. People, for some reason, anytime you go live on Facebook or Instagram, it performs better. So go live, generate that excitement, tell people, hey, this Friday, grab your friends and come out here. This is going to be the greatest thing ever. You have to be here. Get people excited about it. Tell people why they should come. Post your event graphics on social media. So create some event graphics and post them, ask people to share them. Jump in your stories. So people often look at stories more than they get more views in your stories than your actual pages. So make sure that you are in your stories reminding people every day about the event leading up to it. You can use countdown posts to get some people excited. If you are hosting a guest speaker, artist, educator, or musician, consider doing a live interview with them before. So have them come to your business and say, Carol, why should people be excited? And Carol, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're going to be teaching us this Saturday. Asking them stuff like that. People will get excited, like, "Ooh, wow, okay, that is a great speaker. I want to come hear them." Like, right? So Also, look for local Facebook groups and share your event in those local Facebook groups. People are often looking for things to do in those groups, so that's a great thing to share. And lastly, offer a giveaway for followers that share your event or tag friends. This could be a good way to
It's a game
get
changer.
more reach and stuff.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Wow, we went through a ton.
Right.
So we walked through a ton of ideas on what types of events to host. Um, then we also walked you through lots of different ways to advertise. The sooner you can start advertising, the better. At least 2 weeks before the event, you want to be advertising, if not more. But I hope this gave you a ton of ideas. There are even more tips inside of this free guide that we've created for you, tips on how to actually successfully run your event. So I want you to go download it if you haven't already, masterbrickandmortar.com/46. Download this guide, use it as you go. I bring it back up when I need an idea of what type of event to host, and maybe I need to brainstorm some new ways to advertise. Just pick one and maybe schedule it for this next quarter, and choose a couple of these ideas to advertise and see how it goes. And a lot of times we found that hosting the same type of event, like consistently every month, will generate more and more awareness, and they
Right.
get bigger and bigger every time. So just because it doesn't do great the first time, don't give up on it. Try it again before you say, bad idea.
Yeah, it's a very soft sell, right, guys? Get them, get them in there, and get them as a captive kind of hostage audience there while they're eating stuff. You can push product on them; it just works well for you. All the things that we covered, like JoJo said, you don't need to write any of this down. A lot of times, we will use this almost as a checklist to say, "Did we do this? Did we do this? Did we do this?" Once again, back to self scouting. So go ahead and download that, get it checked out. And let us know if you have any, additional input or how your event went. For now, I think that's all we got, right, babe?
Yep. We always love hearing how things go. So shoot us a DM on Facebook or Instagram. We love hearing from you guys. But go download that free resource, and we hope you enjoyed this episode.
Have a great week, y'all.
Are you looking for a way to help your brick and mortar business drive more traffic and increase your sales? Look no further than the Receipt Paper Podcast. In this podcast, Joanne and Kyle provide their sage advice on how to make your brick and mortar store the hottest spot in town. Whether you're just launching a new business or trying to grow an existing one, these informative episodes will leave you inspired. In each episode, Joanne and Kyle take on a different topic related to running a successful business. They offer practical tips based on their own experience as owners of multiple brick and mortar locations. So whatever challenges you're facing, they have actionable advice for you. From finding a location and executing your build out, to merchandising and customer experience, to sales and marketing, Joanne and Kyle have you covered. With helpful advice from these experienced entrepreneurs, you are sure to learn how to increase your sales and have your business running out of receipt paper in no time. Let's dive right in.